Yeah, I'm Tim Cahill, the President and Executive Director of the Quincy Chamber of Commerce and Quincy 2000 Corporation. In addition to the Quincy Chamber of Commerce, I also oversee the Quincy 2000 Economic Development Collaborative. We run the Innovation Center, which we just had a big science fair on Saturday that had over 1,000 young kids come by. We also manage a portfolio of loans, and we try to, again, to bring in good speakers and good events to the Innovation Center that help these small startup businesses. So between the Innovation Center and some of our loan programs and grant programs, we're trying to help people start their businesses, and then once they start them, help to grow. So, and we also oversee Discover Quincy, which is the city's tourism arm. So between the Chamber, Quincy 2000, Discover Quincy, I have my hands full, but it really does tie the entire growth pattern and the focus of the city all in one shop, so you can kind of get it all at one spot and get your answers and get help wherever you feel you need it. Yeah, I started in Quincy. I've been here almost all my life. Family all grew up here, and I started on the Quincy City Council beginning in 1988, so 30 years ago. It's just kind of scary, but 30 years ago, yes. There's probably been, I wouldn't say surprises necessarily. It's been a very big challenge. It's a good challenge for me. We've been busy because I probably haven't done this kind of stuff that I'm doing now since I've been in elected office, where you have a lot of fundraisers and events and you're speaking at different things. But there's a little bit of a different element in that we're trying to attract people to a service organization, to a business organization. So there's a little bit of a challenge there, but I started out in business back in the 80s with my own restaurant. I've been in politics since, as I said, 30 years. So I think I've got a pretty good mix of how things work in both spheres, and that's really what a chamber is. It's a business organization that works with government, that works with the private sector to try to figure out how to get things done and make things, if not easier, at least a little smoother for businesses. We have approximately 550 members of the chamber, give or take. We're trying to grow, and I think that's our biggest challenge going forward. We spent really the first 9 months working on events and becoming more relevant and more visible, getting people to know that there's a reason to join. There's hopefully something in it for them, whether it's a networking opportunity or a way to interact with government, or just in any way that we can help them grow their business. So my message over the next 3 months and then going into the next fiscal year is to try to grow our membership. We'd love to be someday at 750 members if we can. The Chamber's working on, we've got a after-hours event coming up. We've got a food festival, which we haven't done in a couple of years, in June at the Adams Inn. That's going to be kind of fun and exciting and different for us. Really to focus on the restaurant element of the rebirth of Quincy, because there's so many of them. We'll probably have more than we can actually fit. So that's a big one. We got a couple of breakfasts. We have Rosalind Acosta, the Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, the Baker administration, coming in May to speak for us. And then the mayor will speak at the end of June to really encapsulate what's going on, especially in Quincy Center and along the MBTA Red Line over these next few years. Yeah, I see the city really achieving its destiny in many ways, and we've always been close to Boston. We've always been close to sort of getting this wave of development, not just a wave of development, but a more youthful growth in the city. I mean, the demographics, when I was serving on the council, were old. Quincy is one of the oldest cities in the Commonwealth, and we've really changed that, mostly by building a lot of housing, a lot of apartments, and they're geared towards young people and the young people moving in. We've got a pretty good housing stock that's relatively affordable, so there are young couples now buying in Quincy. And a big part of that is the access to Boston, the Red Line, and there are a number of transit-oriented developments both in North Quincy and in Quincy Center that are really going to explode in terms of bringing more and more people into the city, both to live and to work. There are more people commuting into Boston, obviously, and traffic is an abysmal process. So the Red Line is upgraded. It's spent about $1 billion going forward on the Red Line to bring in all new trains. It's going to hopefully make the commuting experience a little bit better. But there's also a lot of people that have moved south of Quincy that don't want to drive all the way into Boston. So Quincy is a great place to get off the highway. You've got Crown Colony, you've got Marina Bay, you've got all these, Quincy Center, you've had Office Lane. I mean, you've got places to work, and we're still a city. So it's not Boston, it's not Cambridge, but in a way I think it's better because it's not as crowded as those places, not as expensive. And then you don't have to go into Boston if you want to have lunch or dinner or a drink after work, because there's just so many good places to go in the square, in Wollaston, and of course at Marina Bay. I think we are the most important business organization on the South Shore, but specifically for Quincy. We can help navigate sort of all of the different detours that it takes to get a business up and running, but also trying to bring the business community together so that there's a recruitment agency in North Quincy looking for really good talent. We might be able to connect them. If there's someone like Office Link's looking for tenants, we can connect them. And we can help businesses grow as we go forward and feel part of the Quincy experience, because the next 5 to 10 years are going to be really, really exciting to be part of Quincy, and I'm looking forward to it. The word collaborate means working together, trying to figure out how to do things, but doing them from different perspectives and trying to make it successful. I think it's the difference between a successful business and a less than successful business, to whether people collaborate both internally and externally as well.